Raiders go, go Raiders go. The green, white and gold theme is go Raiders go. We take on the roughest and welcome the toughest, but the song in Prince Albert is go Raiders go. We're from the north with our tree line and timber. We're from the land where the maidens are fair. We wear the top hat the prince wore in symbol. We'll match our boys with the best anywhere. Go Raiders.
And welcome to the second episode of Raiders Radio, brought to you by Sped and the Biscuit. Today we're going to go over some of the Raiders roster, since bidding is all done for our team. And we're going to have an interview today with Gurugreg and Kotkaniemi. Again, sorry if I said that wrong. So we'll start off today with just going over some of the guys who made the cut for the Raiders. What do you think about Mulder KJ?
I think he's a kid with a lot to prove. We played with him for a short while on the Islanders last season, and tremendous kid. I think he's going to blossom into a very, very legitimate CHL player this year. He's had his struggles here and there, but I think he's going to have a really good year.
Yeah, I definitely concur with that. He's coming from TC on the Islanders last year to making the roster this year, and I think he's going to turn some heads for sure. And then next up, we got CJD, the Professor. What are your thoughts on this guy, Mr. Biscuit?
I got to say, low-key, possibly my favorite player on the PA Raiders for this season. The man just has such a cool, calm personality, and it's beautiful on the ice. And you know, having him come from a higher league, coming down, changing positions, so he's got a little bit of a good background to him.
Perfect. Yeah. I haven't had as much experience playing with him as yourself, but I definitely trust in your ability and what you say about him, and I've seen a few games, and I think he's going to be a pretty dominant player this season for us.
And staying on center, what do you think about Sens Dude?
Sens Dude, all right. This is one guy that we actually reached out to come try out for us because we were peeping his numbers and saw that pretty nice face-off percentage a couple seasons in the last season and such, and hopefully that translates into a lot of pucks won on our side this season, and hopefully he's putting up some points as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. He burns me every time I play against him, so it's good to have that on our side. The biggest wild card, I feel, on our team is this next guy, Insane Cheat Code. What's your thoughts on this guy?
So, again, this is another guy where I peeped his stats from last season. Definitely a high point scorer. He definitely went for a lot of money. I believe it was $5.75 million we paid. So definitely the bar is set high for this dude. We're expecting a lot out of him, and I think that I hope that he's going to produce.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure he will. He'll fit right in.
Right. Next guy here, KW Farn. Now this guy, it's his first year in LG. He kind of has been trying to find his footing with us, whether it's on right wing, left wing, or center. The guy's all around forward. Really puts in the work, and that's why I believe he earned a spot on this team. What do you feel about him?
Yeah, I've never seen somebody put more work in such a short time. The guy, he's going to be a good player. He's going to have to earn his spot, but I think he's already proven himself well worth the spot that he has.
Right.
And I guess a similar story about the next guy on our club here, Pastor Caster 6'9". The guys, I know he did competitive leagues a few years ago. I don't believe he's done anything in LG before. But he really wasn't on our radar at all, and he just started playing with us, and obviously he's on our team now. He definitely has the potential to be a solid player on our squad as well.
Yeah, definitely came under the radar, and and impressed us in the final week of our scouting enough that we put a bid on him, and here we are. Next dude, right wing, Shanna, 4242, close buddy. Was a goalie for us last year on the Charlottetown team. Transferred out to right wing this year. And
just to correct you one quick second,
go ahead.
This man's a natural right wing, and he was a converted goalie last season. So I think he's going to be a little bit more at home.
Fair.
A little bit more at home this year.
And playing alongside Mr. Biscuit and Sped himself. How do you think that's going to translate this year?
Well, years of playing the game together will show. I think we're going to score quite a few points.
Well, I'm going to hold you to it. Let's get on to our defense here. Mr. Big Money Big Truck _77. This guy was, as much as I don't want to admit it because it's frowned upon, but our blind bid. He was the guy with a lot of hype around him. Hasn't played since season 8, though. Put up insane numbers for a defense. How do you think he's going to fit in with us?
Yeah, and the couple of games that he's played with us already, man, the guy fits in. He's a tremendous personality, a tremendous locker room type of guy. He's going to be a cornerstone on our back end for sure. He'll definitely carry us.
Awesome.
The next guy I see here, Brutal Death 14. He was another Islander last season, so I guess there's a small trend of us playing with a couple boys from last season. But I'll let you take the reins on Brutal Death.
So Brutal Death, what can we say about him? One of the most reliable dudes in a locker room. Says he's going to be at a game, always there for his warm-ups, always letting us know what's up, and he's a tremendous player. I think we're going to expect some big things out of Brutal Death this season. The bar's set high for him too, and let's hope he performs to it.
Oh, of course. Possibly the most under-the-radar defenseman in the CHL.
I agree.
Honestly.
Jacoby 9188, the next guy. And this actually happened twice on our team this year, but he is a natural forward shifted back to defense just in time for the season. And I think he actually plays a much better game on defense. What are your thoughts on him?
Well, he had a really successful juniors. This is his first season doing the LG, and the fact that he was able to get drafted on juniors as a forward, and the fact that we're able to see more in him as a defenseman, I think that should just say enough by itself. He earned a spot onto a juniors roster right away, and I think he's a better defenseman than what he did there. So I think he'll be a very solid guy back there.
Agreed. Next guy here, possibly, as you said, one of your favorites. This guy is my favorite. Lifted _47. Big old forecheck, backcheck, paycheck. Love this guy. Personality of a god. And by far one of our better defenders in my opinion as well. So, I mean, that's an early prediction, but I definitely think he can go one of our top 2 defenders this year if he keeps playing the way he's been playing.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt in my mind.
Right. And then we got our next dude here. That one had to hurt. His name perfectly describes bidding with him because twice we got sniped on him with less than a minute left. So that was the longest, most grueling part of our bidding so far, was definitely this guy. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just remember I stayed up a little bit late to watch the timer tick down, and then with less than a minute left, he's gone. And then we had to wait another full rotation. Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Next guy, Erickson 23. This is the other guy we were talking about who was a natural right wing. Shifted him back to defense because during the scouting games, sometimes you don't fill all positions, so some guys play out of position, and this is what was happening with him. He was playing defense a lot for us, and he did well, so he got on the site, switched his position to defense, and I think he's going to have a pretty good season back there.
Definitely. Yeah, you need those 500K players to fill out a squad, and I think we got some amazing steals. We got a bunch of guys who don't have maybe the most experience in LG, but these guys are going to be names. They're going to be definite names.
Right, perfect. I'll let you round us off with the goalies.
Yeah, we got Lazarus 7 days. The guy's an absolute beaut. He's maybe got the best personality of anybody I've ever met. The guy's just a super, super fun guy, and he's a tremendous goalie. He hasn't played for a season or two here, but he's just he's gonna be a really good tendy for us. And then the other goalie we got here, Newfield and QC, coming over from the Wichita squad, and the guy, he was a brick wall in the playoffs, and he was a brick wall during the regular season even. He was a little bit more than what we were anticipating spending on a goalie, just over $2 million. But for the player that we got, I would say every dollar is worth it. I just want to also, it's gonna be a really fun battle between the two of those goalies there to see who gets that quote unquote starters role.
I agree. With Newfield, yeah, I got to play with him a little bit with my short stint on Wichita last year. Good guy, good player, and I'm excited to see the big things that come from him. So that wraps up the Season 10 Raiders roster for us today. We're about to head right into the interviews here. We got Guru and Kotkaniemi on the line here, so let's get it. Awesome, guys, and I'd like to welcome here tonight, we have Gurugreg and Kotkaniemi, if I said that right. Perfect. How are you guys doing tonight?
Not too bad.
Great.
Perfect. So as you guys know, this is our second episode of Raiders Radio. We got some awesome feedback on our first episode, even though it was raw and very noobish, if you shall, but we're awesome to continue to keep doing this for the rest of the season. A little bit about you guys. I'll start with you, Greg. You said, we were just talking earlier, that you're the owner. This is your second season owning the Portland Winterhawks.
That's correct. Yep.
Perfect. Just a simple question to start, how do you project your team doing this year?
I feel pretty good about the team so far. Bidding went, I think, better than planned. So I think we have a strong squad to be able to do at least as good, if not better, than we did last season, which was a first round exit. I think we can do better than that, but and hopefully challenge for our division title.
Awesome. Me and Biscuit know far too well what a first round exit feels like, huh?
Oh yeah, going up 3-1 and then losing 3 straight hurts.
And Kotkaniemi, I'm just gonna go call you Niemi for the rest of the show because I'm not gonna get that out. You're playing with the Tucson Roadrunners, correct?
Yeah, in the AHL.
Perfect. And how do you suspect your season's gonna go?
A lot of people have us as like being a bottom feeder and stuff. I think we're like gonna be. I'd hope we're gonna be real good, but I think we're gonna be like kind of mid-table, maybe like scratching like on the playoff bubble, because like there's a lot of newcomers. Like I've never been rostered in the CHL, so in the AHL, so like it's all, and there's a lot of people like me. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a question too about moving up to the AHL. What's the difference in quality of play are you noticing just for a CHL player like myself?
I guess the big thing is that like CHL, you have like it's a melting pot of like skill levels, whereas like AHL, it's like the skill gap between like the worst player and the best player isn't as like big. Like for example, in the CHL, you had like people that were kind of like barely above the drop in skill level, and you have someone that could like be AHL first line. Whereas like in the AHL, it's more like everybody kind of knows what they're doing. But I guess like people aren't like people are jack of all trades as opposed to some kind of like superstar that's super elite at everything.
Right. Yeah, I definitely see that in the CHL. You can go against, like you said, an AHL first line one night and then maybe some more bottom feeders the next night. But I like that about the CHL. I don't know. What do you think you might prefer, CHL or AHL in your short time in the A?
I think that it depends like the role you're being put in. Because like in the AHL, I'm kind of just there to like do my thing and kind of play defense, which is like one thing that in the CHL I could like play more offensive and like be more fancy and stuff. So I think like CHL is a lot more like enjoyable, but I guess like AHL is more rewarding. But I'd go towards CHL being my favorite.
Yeah.
Now, when you say playing defense, what position is it that you play?
I play center. I used to be a winger. I might play wing in the AHL, but I've got like a game at center tonight. I've played a game at wing the other day. But like being a center, I guess like you're a lot more involved in the play. You got to play defense, and that's something like I take a lot of pride in. I put a lot of effort in. So
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely something we stress hard in the Raiders locker room is the center should play good defense if you want a very successful season, in my opinion. But as you said, in the CHL, you can get away with, sometimes breaking out a little earlier than you should as a center and maybe not get as, hurt on it, or the other team doesn't capitalize as easy as they would in the AHL or NHL.
Yeah.
Guru, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like what position you play, how long you've been in the league?
So this will be my fourth season in the league. I came in basically not knowing anybody or anything about the league, except that it was a competitive place to play EASHL. Coming into season 7. Originally thought I could play wing and quickly found out it was a struggle for me. So I stayed on TCL season basically, but did have a good experience anyway. I did play a couple games at D along the way in the season, including a playoff game, a big game 6, to stretch out the series for the Calgary Hitmen that season. Then next season, I worked myself into a better defenseman, bounced around a couple different teams in season 8. Unfortunately, as probably a mediocre defenseman and on some bad teams along the way. Then last year, took control of the Winterhawks after a World Juniors management spot, and put together a squad that was fun. I leaned heavily on some of the people I'd met along the way for my first season of ownership, and coming to season 10, more prepared for what the season's going to throw at me.
Right, and when you say more prepared, as you may or may not know, Charlie Biscuit and myself, this is my second year in LG and my first year owning. It's Charlie Biscuit's second season and first year GMing. What are some of the things that you think we should help be prepared for, or what LG might throw at us?
Well, the first thing we just wrapped up, and that was bidding. And I know going into things, my first season as owner, I felt prepared. I had probably 150 to 200 people on my bid list ready to go. And probably within 24 hours, that was all blown up. I reached in some places, I didn't in others. I had some come through better than expected, but bidding was just chaos that I wasn't quite prepared for. And coming to season 10, I had probably a sheet on just about everybody who was in bidding in the league. I did my homework everywhere I could, got as much information on as many people as I could, went out and tried to find new guys to bring in. And even then, it's hard to feel 100% prepared coming into the season.
True. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I definitely feel the struggle there. Before me and Sped even were assigned a team, or before we were even aware that we were going to get a team, I play around on Excel all the time, so I got all kinds of spreadsheets on so many different players that I've never even played with, and I'm a definite nut about stats, so I totally agree with you on just looking at everybody, and even if I'm playing just a for fun game with some friends, like completely un-LG related, I write down names of players on opposing teams that play well. So I definitely get the grind.
Oh yeah. And when they talk about scouting and stuff like that, it's like, oh, are you doing scouting games? Stuff like that. It's like, I've been scouting since season 9 started. I mean,
yeah,
every game I play, whether it's in league or whether it is, just playing with the team, trying to get better. You have to watch just about everybody out there, because that's how you're informed, being ready.
Yeah, you never know what name might just show up. I know for Sped and myself, we got really fortunate with some of the players that wanted to play with us, and we started playing with them on a more consistent basis, and they're a part of the squad now, and they're it's good. I want to get your opinion of it, but what my opinion of having in a locker room, you want to have guys that all get along. You want guys that can have fun, but are obviously still skilled. Not necessarily like friends beforehand, because we got a group of guys that none of us knew each other before all the scouting process started, and we all just clicked. And that plays a huge factor. You don't want the cancer personalities. You don't want stuff like that. I just want to get your opinion on that. I'm sure you agree, but just maybe even some past experiences with a guy or two that maybe just didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, there's always cases that you have to pay attention and sometimes judge how much of the good and the bad are the trade-offs there. I've had guys who were extremely talented, but sometimes selfish or just didn't get along with the rest of the team, and I had to figure out something else to do with them. And some went on to have success elsewhere, and sometimes that's all right, because they weren't helping our team in that place and time. So it's hard, and that's that's the other part of the being an owner that's always difficult, is during the season and trades, because there's two parts of it that make it hard. One is trying to do the right thing for your team while knowing everybody is at least somewhat invested in this, and knowing it's not meant to be personal. It's meant to try to make the best squad you can. You want to win. But the other part that's hard of it is, you're making all these decisions, and you have one or two people you can talk about them with, basically. Yeah.
Right.
As owners, we can't ask players too many questions about trades or what's going on, and we can't tell them stuff that's pending or why we did some things, and it's hard as well, especially when you want to develop relationships within the team and build it in that way. It's hard to have a lot of fun if you just if it's all business, but at the same time there has to be enough business to be successful.
Oh, of course.
We're gonna move into more of the media side of things now, because you both have your hand in that pot a little bit, and as you can tell, me and Charlie Biscuit are trying to help out with some media stuff. Ours is more, just interviews and based on our team and something our team can enjoy that helps us have more fun this season. But we'll start with you, Niemi. Can you kind of explain your role and what you do with the media portion of things on LG?
Yeah, sure. So personally, I do, well, Greg does the same thing basically, but we do write-ups. So as you've seen, I'm sure a lot of people have seen it on the website, I did a pre-bidding write-up, and my division is the ECHL. So throughout the season, I'm just going to be watching what happens in the ECHL and just pointing out and making a a weekly recap so that people who might not be in the CHL can actually know what's going on, who's doing good, who's doing bad, who, I don't know, they can just like follow the league. I guess it's like in real life.
Right. And I just want to say too, I don't know what kind of feedback you've ever got, but we definitely really, really appreciate when you guys do things like that. They're always cool, like little articles to read. They're fun, and I think that they really do help keep people interested in the league. So definitely thank you guys for doing that.
Thanks to you.
Thanks, Greg. What exactly is it that you do on that?
So similarly, I do write-ups, and it's something that I kind of got involved with last season, not really officially, but I know season 8 things were kind of light when it came to media coverage in the C, and I decided last season part of my commitment as owner was to do write-ups on my team each week to kind of highlight some of what they were doing and just give a summary, basically, the local newspaper summary of what went on. And so I did that, and then when I saw that media guys wanted some more help, I volunteered to do that on a larger scale. So I'm responsible for doing the OHL write-ups this season. So hopefully by the end of the season, there aren't 20 teams that don't want to trade with me anymore. But yeah, it should be interesting. I know a good bunch that are over there, and every league is always interesting. To be able to watch it from afar and actually have a reason to pay more attention to how teams are doing across the league. Because it's real easy as owner just to be like, look, I'm not going to play them. So just pay attention to your division, or even in our case last year with the WHL, we only played 9 teams all season the way the schedule worked out. Thankfully, they fixed it for this season. But I only paid attention to those 9 teams for most of the season, except for when it came to trades.
Right. That's what we were noticing too. Is like, are they going to expand it? Are we going to play more than just the same teams all year? And then that's like you guys said, getting that little bit of media out there helps us see what's going on around the league and see, the different things. Who's in charge of the W?
Aren't you, Greg?
Just a sec, off the top of my head, I forgot, but
yes, it is you.
Well, I will say this: I'm pretty sure Sped and myself are going to do some loose coverage of the W just by default, because we're going to obviously be covering the Raiders a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously not officially, but we'll, I'm sure, give some good information on what's going on in the W. Yeah, kind of more or less what you guys are doing. I mean, we're looking to do something similar, just in interview form, and I think it's just something fun to do. It's good. I mean, if people listen to it, fantastic, and we'll try to get some helpful information when we receive it, and we're just trying to have a good, fun show. We're not taking ourselves serious. We know we're not pros at it, but it's just, it's fun, and it's good to pass information along. I know every time I see one, excuse me, every time I see one of you guys post something, or just anybody post anything, I always read it. I mean, some things are of importance, some things are just for fun, but it's all a good read. And like whenever the streams are up, I always have them on in the background, and just even if I'm not closely listening to every word, it's really cool that this stuff's going on. It's just fun being a part of it.
Yeah, and to give credit to the other guys who are going to be doing write-ups, Graham Scott, who's an AHLer right now, is going to be doing the WHL write-ups, and Crazy Matt will be doing the QMJHL ones.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely shout out to those guys as well, because I know that a lot of people in this league, they work full-time jobs or they're in school, and then they come and they play this, commit their time to the league, and then when it's guys like you and us and those other guys you mentioned give extra time to do this extra stuff, when we have so much going on in our lives, it really is a thankless and quite the job done. But we want to thank you coming from our end, and hope that you guys continue to do this for the league, because it's definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and glad it's appreciated.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably going to wrap us up tonight. We like to keep these nice and short because if we rambled on forever, nobody would listen to us. Uh, so again, we want to thank you from the Raiders to you guys, and best of luck this season.
Thanks for having us on.
Yep,
good
thank
luck,
you.
boys.
And I'll see you guys on the ice.
Yeah, you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
take care. Awesome, and as always, it's definitely great hearing from our guest on today's show. Just going to take a couple minutes here to wrap it up. So we have the regular season starting this Sunday. More than excited to get out there and play some hockey. I think we've developed a brand new rivalry with the Brandon Wheat Kings. What are your feelings on that, Biscuit?
Yeah, well, I go to work for a few hours and I hear all this chirping going on in the shout box. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to see how that plays out, because I know we play them opening night on Sunday. So I hope they bring their best game, and I know we will. And it's gonna be a good rivalry.
Good, I definitely agree. And yeah, I mean, I was at work all day reading the shout box, having to read some of the ridiculous comments from, I'll name drop here, Mr. Grimes. I'll be excited to see if you actually get to sniff the ice on Sunday. But until then, we'll talk to you guys later on the next episode.
And I do want to say it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
All the chirping there.
All right. Take care, folks.